Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this morning's recipe, we're gonna make slow cooker black beans. Now, when I say we're gonna make slow cooker black beans, I don't mean like we're gonna make these from a can. We're gonna actually make these homemade. Okay, so what you're gonna need for this morning's special recipe, you're gonna need your olive oil cooking spray. You're going to need 1/2 of a teaspoon of onion powder and garlic powder, 7 cups of chicken broth, 1 diced onion, and this was a really big onion that I cut up, okay? And then you're gonna need some dried black beans, okay? So the first thing we're doing, as always, we always spray the slow cooker so then that way nothing sticks to the bottom. Now, this is going to be a great slow cooker meal, and I've never tried this before. I've never made like I've never made like black beans in a crock pot before. I mean, I've made them from a can, but I've never actually made them like homemade. So this is my first time doing this. So the first thing we add to the recipe, we're going to add our black beans, okay? And this is a whole bag of, 1 bag of black beans going into the crock pot. And I did rinse these really well. Now, you don't want, there's going to be, oh, it's an ugly one. I don't want that in there. There's probably going to be a couple of like bits and bobs that you don't want. You don't want those in your black beans, okay? Because then the black beans won't taste good, okay? So another really important thing you should do when you make when you make any like dried beans, you should always pick through them. That's not a requirement in the recipe, but I'm just saying like anytime you make any dried bean, just for the future, you should always pick through them just to make sure. Okay, because sometimes you can find like some like rotten beans. You don't want that. But 1 pound, 1 bag of black beans, okay? Then, this is when I get serious. You're going to add your seasonings to the slow cooker, which is, again, onion powder and garlic powder, okay? You're going to put that literally in your slow cooker. And it doesn't matter if it's not all over, because we're going to be mixing this up, okay? Now, I'm going to add 1 bay leaf. Now, we do not add a lot of bay leaves. Now, there's something I'm going to stress about because so many people forget this. When you cook, anytime you put a bay leaf in a dish, you always take the bay leaf out because you don't want people eating a bay leaf. You know, that's not good, okay? So remember, once this is done cooking, I will be taking the bay leaf out. So that way nobody has to eat a raw bay leaf because that's kind of gross, right? So the next thing we're going to add is we're going to add our chicken stock. And it's 7 cups. So when I say like 7 cups, I really do mean it. It's this plus 2. Now what's 1 plus 2? 1 plus 2 is 3, right? And then plus this whole container of chicken broth right here. See this? This is a whole container. Now this is a lot of broth, okay? Now, this recipe is very simple to make, and we're going to cook this on high for 5 to 6 hours. Now, I'm going to cook it for 6 hours on high. Okay, I know this is a lot of broth. And the reason why I'm not using my, now, originally for this recipe, I was going to use my small, like my tall black crock pot. You guys have seen me use that crock pot before. But the reason why I'm not using that today is because 7 cups of broth is a lot, and I don't want it to overflow. Because you know how when you cook in the slow cooker, sometimes it'll bubble up, it'll cook up, and it'll overflow. We don't want that. So now what I do is I like to take my spoon and I like to give everything a nice stir. Now everything is not going to smell good yet, but I promise you, once this gets cooking in the slow cooker, this is going to cook on high for 7 hours. I mean, excuse me, not 7, I'm sorry. This is gonna cook on high for 6 hours, is what I meant, okay? So once you have your beans in there, now normally what I would do is I can't really show you guys what this looks like because this crock pot is too heavy for me to even lift. So I'm just gonna tell you, your black beans should look like this. This is gonna cook on high. When I come back, these should be done, and these should be tender, okay? That's the key. You're going to cook these on high until these black beans are really, 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 really tender. How do you know if they're tender? Somebody has also asked me that. Well, how do you know if they're tender? If you could take your beans and you can like squish it with your finger, that's how you know they're tender and they're done, right? All right, so we're gonna cover this up and we're gonna cook this on high for 7 hours until it's done. So I'm gonna cook this on high. So, oh, guys, guess what? We gotta plug it in. So I'm gonna unplug this. Oh, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You know what I forgot to add? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We have to add 1 onion to the crock pot as well. Okay, I forgot my onion. So let's add the onion in. This crock pot's going to be full. Okay, we have to add the onion. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. I was like, I was wondering this crock pot should be a little bit fuller, and it should be, right? We have to add the onion. So let's stir the onion in. Okay, now we have all of our ingredients in. Okay, so we're gonna stir this up. Just give it a stir. Give it a stir. Stir it up. All right, so I'm gonna cook this on high for 7 hours. I will come back and I'll show you what this looks like. Now you can cover it, and now we can set the crock pot. But, of course, I was trying to set the crock pot, and guess what? I didn't even have it plugged in. See that?
So, yeah, I mean, we did a lot. Like, there was no downtime. Like,
Plug it in.
Halo was kind of a little whiny. I said, you wanted this. You wanted to go on vacation. I go, sometimes vacations.
Power on, program. It's set for 4 hours. I do not want that. I want 6 hours. That way these beans are tender. Enter, high, cook. Done. So, we put our lid on. Our crock pot is on high, and I'm gonna cook this for 7 hours. No, I'm sorry. For the next 5 to 6 hours on high. So again, on high for between 5 and 6 hours until this is done. Okay? I will come back and we'll be back in a little while. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed this recipe. Bye, vlog on. Peace out. Boom. Okay, bye guys.